everybody, it's Jerry from the Military Collectible Shop, and we got a batch in this week and I wanted to share some stuff with you. Mark was unable to join me today, but he was actually out buying stuff today, so I'm sure we'll get a report from him soon. But we wanted to share some of the stuff that came in and that we picked up because there's some pretty cool stuff in here. So it's again a wide variety of stuff. We never know what's going to walk through the door, which always makes it fun. All right, first off, we got a collection of Inert Ordinance. Now there's two types of ordnance. There's inert and nert. And you don't want to mess with the nert stuff. And unless you know what it is, just leave it alone. Ordnance can still be very dangerous. So if you don't know what you're doing, assume everything is live until proven otherwise. Thankfully, this collection is a demilled collection. There's no powder, there's no explosives in any of these. It's just the shells. So they're in fabulous condition. Kind of a wide range. Some World War II pieces. These are actually World War II anti-tank shells, 37 millimeters. We got some earlier stuff. There's a French World War I era. Oh God, the name escapes me. I'll come back to this one. But a relatively common World War I shell. I believe also used in the Indian Wars. But a lot of 20 millimeter and 30 millimeter shells. These are great to collect because they come in such a wide variety of markings and of types and of shells and eras. Some other shells, 57 millimeter. Some miscellaneous fuses and whatnot. A German Bakelite fuse container of some type. I'm not completely sure what lived in here. I think something fairly large, maybe something for the 88 shell, but some type of German fuse container, dated 1941. Again, in kind of the ordnance thing, I picked up this, which is actually really cool. It's designed to look like a shell from Verdun, 1916, with the French rooster on it and a cannon and the French flag. What's actually cool about this is it's a bank, and it's actually a chalkware bank. So these are incredibly fragile pieces. They did a lot of pieces out of chalkware, which is something akin to plaster of Paris, if you will, and they made figurines and personality figures. This is the first time I've ever seen a shell like this. But to find one in the original paint and one that's not smashed is quite rare. So I was very happy to get that. And again, early 1916, before America got into the First World War. So kind of unusual. Speaking of unusual, got some German military toys from the period. This is a little ambulance made by Hauser, which is one of the companies that made German patriotic toys. Just like during World War II, our little kids played with toy soldiers, so did the Germans. These are the German versions of that. So this one is made by, again, Hauser. And then I also picked up, this is very cool. This is actually made by Lineal, another company in Germany, and it's a Stuka, the JU-87, and it's still actually in the box. And I've got the propeller, and there's actually a little crew that goes along with it. So just a very, very rare piece to find on its own, let alone still being in the box. So that was really cool. Also got a German World War I bayonet, similar to the K98 Mauser bayonet that we see, but World War I type. Picked up a fireman picture. Mostly we get military ones, but this one has such a great look. Nice fireman, kind of unusual. Got some sheet music. Sheet music is a really cool way to collect, you know, kind of the little window of history. This one is the Star of Gold, you know, talking about the Gold Star Service Banner. And many of you may remember, I wrote the book on the U.S., the history of the, I can't even tell you the title. The history of the United States service flag. So, find it on Amazon, buy it from me, I'll sign it. Always happy to do that. If you like service flags, you like patriotic Americana, get my book. It's really cool to see the American Patrol. The covers on these things are little pieces of art, you know, on the sheet music. And sheet music can still be had relatively inexpensively. You know, a lot of times you can find sheet music for under $5 a piece. So very cool. Doesn't take up a lot of space to collect it, and you know, most of it you see from the early, you know, World War I era. It sort of fell off in favor as we got into World War II. Okay, speaking of World War II, got in some Japanese rank insignia, little stars and bars for the Japanese soldiers. Got a group of little photos. Not sure what you'll be able to see. What's cool about these is there's some World War I ones in here that actually show blackjack Pershing, some other vehicles. There's some native pictures, which Americans always seemed enamored by the natives when they were on the islands. But just a real interesting group of photos. Got in a Prussian Franco-Prussian War era belt buckle, so nice to find, and a little piece of German trench art, World War I German trench art. A couple of German annexation medals from Austria, without the ribbons, but I'll see if I can find some ribbons. Got in a Luftwaffe helmet. This would be an it almost looks like an M35. Yeah, this would have been an M35. Unfortunately, just the shell, but separately applied air vents, and you can just make out where the national decal had been. But still pretty decent, you know, decal remaining on the one side. Got in a Zippo Lighter with kind of a Erdl camo pattern. Not completely sure when it's from. I have to look up the Zippo dating code. Nice thing about the Zippos, they're all dated on the bottom with a certain Zippo dating code. So you can actually place it when it was made. So if you're looking at a Vietnam lighter and it's dated 1983, guess what? Not a Vietnam lighter. That's kind of interesting. Don't come across this much. Jewish Holy Scriptures, presented by the Army of the United States. And this would have been from 1942, so World War II. This is a neat piece, kind of unusual. I've got a larger version poster size thing of this, but it's a World War II hunting license for the Jap snake. So, you know, kind of a very politically incorrect these days, but kind of, you know, propaganda from 1942 about you know, against Japanese. Again, on the home front, this was very cool. A friend of mine actually sent this to me. It's a little wooden tank, and wooden toys were actually fairly common in during World War II because you couldn't get metal and other types of things. So what's neat about this tank is it actually, as the turret moves, the little guns in front also move. So it's designed to be a pull toy. But it's also cool because it's signed by a whole bunch of people from, I believe, the Tank Hull Paint Shop. So yeah, Tank Hull Harry. So I have to find out, you know, where this, what might have come from. You know, buy victory bonds. You know, Merry Christmas and a victorious and Happy New Year. So kind of a neat home front piece. Going across the pond again, got a patriotic German cigarette tin with kind of the Imperial battle flag and Constantine Kaiser price. So from Constantine cigarette fabric in Hanover. So very cool box, great graphics, a little beat up, but obviously, Imperial era. Showing the smoking German Navy guy, as they often would do. Got in a Pith helmet. No super big shakes, but nice and clean. Not crushed. Interesting thing about these, a lot of them were made by the Hawley Paper Company. Anyways, there was a paper company down in St. Charles, Illinois, the doormat to Wisconsin. Wipe your feet before entering. But all the rare Hawley paper liners were made there, and they also made these Pith helmets by kind of paper macheing and then fabric covering these helmets. So they didn't hold up to a lot of abuse, but thankfully they got them in place and we were able to get them out to the troops as needed. A friend of mine brought this in for me from my collection. This is actually a World War I, and I was also used as a World War II, but it's a movie prop German helmet. So these were actually cast out of aluminum and used in various films in the 1950s, 60s, possibly even the 40s, where they took an original German helmet and made a cast out of it. Interesting thing about this is they never drilled out the air vent holes. So you can actually see these helmets appear in films. Because of their distinctive shape and the lack of air vent holes. Now that we actually have the ability to stop films and be able to lock in on a frame, which is great, especially if you're a prop collector like I am. You get some real helmets. This is a front seam swivel bail. It's got the modified hooks, so probably Korea is where I would date this one to. Then we got some little later helmets, kind of Vietnam to the 1980s with the Erdl pattern woodland camouflage. This one's actually an earlier helmet under here, and this is kind of a neat liner. It's a military police liner, again 1950s kind of liner. It's still got the vent, so it's pre-1955. But decent liner. And then this is actually it just got cooler. Yeah, that's very cool. It's a World War II fixed bail helmet. It only has one of the bails, but it's got this big red splotch on the back, which definitely means something to somebody. So I'm going to be investigating that, and then this one will probably end up in my own collection because I love painted helmets. I love a lot of things. That's my problem. To quote Violet from It's a Wonderful Life, what's wrong with that? Kevlar helmet, just a nice, decent, solid one, complete. Liner, chin strap. We actually had a bunch of them going to Ukraine. So fight the fight. This is an interesting one. It's a World War I, and I've been trying to decide if this is a really artistic camouflage job or if it's an art project. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. Again, just a shell. Some wear to the top, but the paint color on it is just kind of trippy. All right, Vietnam helmet cover. Always good. Flashlight. We get a bunch of these, but they're cool. Usually in the bottom, they have the little colored lenses, so you can, kind of see. You could signal your friends with red or white or whatever. Got a couple Vietnam era mess kits, which are nice. You don't see a lot dated from Vietnam, and they're really clean. So I love when field gear comes in, because we can always sell field gear. People like it. It's utilitarian. Got in a flight jacket. I checked the spec tag. I'm not completely sure on the date. It's got an Air Force contract, but I think 1976, if my number system holds true. But these are reversible, so if you go in the drink, they can find you. Or if you're deer hunting in Wisconsin. I don't hunt. Mark's the big hunter among us. Got a machete. Flag banner from Camp Forest, Tennessee. Some World War II WAC, or Army Air Force Women's uniforms. And these are actually named. So we'll have our research guy research her, see what we can come up with there. I got a field pack, M1910 field pack. As frequently encountered, several of the straps were chopped off, but it is what it is. World War I canteen, some modern gear and camo. Got in a Vietnam era flak vest. This is dated 1967, so this is actually older than I am. And then a more modern kind of gear. And then one of the neater pieces, I think, it's a wooden frame from a guy that was made up, hand carved in World War II, from the 52nd Fighter Group, 5th Squadron. So, and it's got his name on there too, so that's really cool, and all the places that he was at. So, love this kind of personalized stuff. It really kind of speaks to me. So that was really neat. A couple other jackets. Got parkas, World War II Marine Corps long wool overcoat, and a World War I overcoat. I'm always surprised at the amount of World War I things that we get into the store. So, all right, quite a smattering of stuff. Again, every country, every era, just little bits and stuff. We never know what's going to walk through the door, but we love it. So hopefully it'll be coming to a website near you soon. And I hope you enjoy seeing these. I hope you enjoy seeing this stuff. We enjoy sharing it. We love talking about this stuff. If you ever have any questions, feel free to email us, drop us a line. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We could use your subscription. That'd be awesome. Like us on Facebook or wherever you're getting this. And if you're ever in Milwaukee, be sure to stop by the shop. We love hearing from people. We just had some people in from New York. It was great to meet them. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Jerry. This is the Military Collectible Shop, and now you know what's new at the Military Collectible Shop. Have a great day.